Hello and welcome back to Tool Time. I'm Robbie the Toolman Taylor, and with me is always my handy assistant Whitey Dave Borland. And today we got a new guinea pig guest, Cranky.
Hi.
And we are actually gonna talk about audio. So we're gonna make like a playlist that randomizes and a couple ways of how you can get to actually play for people and some things that we've talked about like synced and local. So we'll get to that, but any of you guys got anything that you want to say before we start, or quick introduction? Cranky, by the way, I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Cranky Goat and I do not know how to do CV2.
Hey, my shirt's still in the store. If you want to be the 5-star box.
Oh yeah, check it out.
Mhm.
Check it out. All right, let's go up to the platform and we'll start talking about some circuits. All right, so here we are, and we already have some of the circuits built in like last time. So let me boop, bring those into view for you guys. And basically, I have everything unplugged except for what is the audio samples, which is basically the actual audio file. So like each one of these colored ones is a song. So we have 4 songs. Uh, we put the names in here. These are basically just useless chips that you can do notes in, to leave a little message. They're kind of useful. Get used to doing that also. You can put them on top of your projects so that when someone comes into your room, they can be like, oh, this is the audio playlist, things like that. That's basically what they're for. And we have obviously an audio player over here, which is our only component, gizmo, gadget. I don't know how they're calling it this day. Probably a different name next week, so it doesn't matter that much. And then everything else is simple CV2s. And one thing that we saw last time is the execution integer switch. So if you check out last episode, you'll learn how this one works. And we have only four executions running out of it this time. I think last time we had like 10. This time we have only 4. So it's going to be a little simpler. And Cranky here doesn't know much at all about CV2. So we're going to teach him how to build a simple playlist that runs shuffled kind of, let's say, randomized order of playing the songs for you, but with a little twist, which is it will never play the same song twice in a row. Obviously, it will play the same song twice. It will just play it, right after it just played it. And one of the reasons why I like to do this is because in a lot of places, and you can see, for example, in our skate park map, whenever you join the room, we have like the whole playlist of that actual soundtrack from Skate and Destroy, like the original PlayStation 1 game. But it doesn't matter whenever you join, since it's a playlist that goes in order, like in literal order, it will always play the same song when you join. So, it's always the same song the first time you get to the room. And this one is a bit more interesting because, okay, finally, it's a different song every time you join. So it doesn't matter if it's the first time you get there or the 100th time you get there, you might get something different, and that's nice. Obviously, that can be, enhanced even more by having more songs, because if you have 4 songs, you might eventually get the same ones. But we just have 4 for sake of, simplifying it. And actually, literally, those 4 songs are from the PvP map that I built, or CV2. So anyway, we'll get to that now. And Cranky, can you take out your maker pen and we'll start going through the flow of things over this circuit board, right? So one thing you guys already know, event receivers, and we have an event receiver here called player joined, right? Player joined is basically looking for somebody that joined the room. It tells us when somebody joined the room, it will pop out like a little signal, and it tells us who joined the room. So we're going to use that, and we're going to use the player is local. The player is if player is local chip basically turns it into a thing that prevents every time someone joins, this pops out a signal, right? So if you have a room and you have this, if you don't have the if player is local, every time someone joins, it's going to start playing a song. But maybe you're already there, and then this is going to, start playing a song again. So it just refreshes whatever is happening. We saw that with the notifications also in a previous episode. So this prevents that from happening. Also, we're running the audio player on your configuration. We have it on not synced, which doesn't say local when you go configure it. It's just the sync button, well, the sync toggle, sorry, is on toggled or not toggled. That means that when someone joins, someone is going to listen to the songs, but we are all going to listen to different songs. When you join, you get a song from the beginning, you start playing them until you leave. But everybody who's already there doesn't start playing a song from the beginning when someone joins. That's basically what we're doing with this one, right? So we're gonna plug in this event receiver player is local, the player to the player of the player is local, right? So then from this if player is local, you got two options, is local or is not local. So we're looking for the execution to run when the player is local so that it runs only for the person that joined. So we're gonna wire that is local to our random int over here. And the random int is just a chip that literally does what it says. It randomizes. It's got a couple options, minimum inclusive and maximum inclusive. What does that mean? Remember that an integer is a whole number, so it doesn't have like 0.00 nothing. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 whole numbers. So if we give it like a minimum and a maximum, like here we're giving it from 1 to 4, every time this chip runs, it's going to spit out a value. And that value is going to be a number between 1 and 4. So it's going to be either 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's it. Every time a different number, right? And so we're going to have those. And from here, we're going to connect this random integer into our if chip. And the if chip, we're going to use to check for the song not repeating twice in a row. And how are we going to do that? It goes here. And this goes here, okay, like that. Mm-hmm. So what happens is we're going to have this that is an integer variable, and I'm calling it song number, right? This one is not going to be running through our chain right now, but it basically stores a value of our song number. Right now it says 0. It doesn't matter what it says because we're not executing it. So we're going to use that integer to check and compare it to the value that the randomizer gave us, right? With an equal chip. That equal chip is just checking if the value that is stored here is different from the value that the randomizer gave us. When you load the room, if you're the first person that is going to be in the room, this value is always going to be 0 because it's a blank. So whatever the randomizer does for the first time is always going to go through. But after that, we're going to have this as a true or a false. Right now, since we haven't run this is going to be probably also equal. So it's going to be a true. If you look through your pen, it is a true. So it will let that thing run. And what would it let it run? It will run on the then. So if it is equal, actually, we don't want it to ever be equal because that would mean that it's playing the same song that just got stored. So we're going to go back to randomize it. And it's going to give us another value between 1 and 4, and then it's going to check. And what we want to do is continue our flow of information when the value is not the same. That means that it's not the same song that it just played. So when that happens, we're going to store the value that we just got from the randomizer. So that next time it checks, it's going to check from the song that is currently playing, right? From there, we're going to have that. Now that we stored our song number, we're going to go to our execution integer switch, and we are going to match that same value that we got to our configuration of the integer switch. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the failed one is always there by default, right? So we're going to literally just connect. We have our songs already played. This is a chip called audio player play. That means that it gets you two options. The target, which is the audio player, everything's connected to that same audio player. So only one speaker for audio system. Just think about it like that. It's literally one speaker. You don't need 4 speakers for every song, or anyway, a speaker for every song. And the media. The media is the songs over here. So we had like the 4 songs with only one speaker. All right. And so we're going to match 1 to, it doesn't really matter because, the songs can be in any order. But we're going to plug it like that. So see like there, I will plug the 4th one to the 3rd one. It doesn't really matter. Just for organization's sake, obviously, you should try to keep your circuits kind of clean. And one thing that is going to be like, okay, so what happens then, right? Let's say it chooses song number 1. All right. So you load the room, it starts playing, it chooses song number 1. It's different than 0. It goes to the song number. It stores the 1 in the song number. So now also this one on the left became a 1. And then it goes over here. It says like, okay, we're playing song number 1, goes over here, follows the thing, plays this song over here, the green one, right? What happens when the song ends? The audio player already has a chip called audio finished, and it's already got a thing here. Usually you can clean these circuit boards better, but we're going to grab that finished and we're going to plug it again into the randomizer. So now we have actually 3 things plugged into the input of this random integer. But what that means is that when this song ends playing, it doesn't have to go out of here. We just need to check that the file has finished playing, and that always happens in the audio player itself. So we go randomize another number. Let's say it gives us a 1, right? It checks if the 1 is equal to the 1, and it is a 1 because we just played song number 1. So then it's going to be like, yes, it is. Okay, give me another 1. So it goes back to the randomizer. This time it gives us a 3. Checks 3 is equal to whatever is here. This one's a 1, so, oh no, it's not equal. Okay, so then let's store the 3 here and then go find song number 3. That's literally all it's doing. It sounds more complicated than what it is, believe me. And obviously you can add more songs, and the beauty about this kind of system is that you don't need to be plugging stuff into the audio player over and over again. You can literally just clone your audio player play and have as many as you want down there and have as many samplers as you want, and they're all going to be plugged into the same little speaker. And a couple things you might want to do is another event receiver with room reset. And that one, since the speaker is already not synced, and if whoever was already in the room is going to load at the same time, ideally, you can just plug the event receiver of room reset straight into the random integer generator. So that means that everybody gets a random int and everybody starts playing songs. And then another one that I like to have is always a test event, because if something, breaks or whatever happened, gizmos get stopped or something, you can always have a test event plugged into your random int. And that just became a mess because now we have 5 things plugged into this poor little chip. But, that's completely fine. And yeah, something you would want to understand better.
So how would you like make more like songs go down, I believe?
Okay, yeah. All right, let's do one as an example. We can definitely do that real quick. Oh, another thing before, you could literally not have this song here, the value, the integer variable. You can pull it also from this side because it's literally the same, and that saves you 1 chip. I just have it here because I feel like it's way easier to understand when you're checking and then storing, but literally is the same. Okay, just one thing that I thought I should mention. But if we want to add another song, right? We're going to grab this audio player play. We're going to clone it. And now we have a 5th one. And we're going to clone an audio sampler, which is never a good idea, by the way. It's easier. It's not easier. It's better to spawn a new sample audio. I think it's called constant audio sample or constant sample audio, something like that. They keep changing the name on everything, man. But for this time, we're just going to clone one, okay? So we're going to clone it. It doesn't want to get cloned. Okay, there it is. So now we have a fifth sampler. And basically this one's the way it works is you got to configure them. It gives you a menu, kind of like the CV1s used to have like a record button in front of them. This one has the same thing. It's just like inside the configuration of the constant. So once you record your audio, which, maybe it doesn't even have to be a song. Maybe you can put whatever you want. I can just speak into it because it records whatever your microphone is playing. And you can say like, hello, I'm Robbie, and then it will play that. So we're going to plug this into our media, and then we're going to plug the target. It's going to be our audio player over here, because again, it's the same speaker that we're using for everything. And then the execution, what you want to do with that is configure your integer switch. Like we did last time, we're going to add a value of 5. And when we do that, you're going to see that a new execution just appeared over here, right? Which is a 5. Basically, that means that it's matching our integer that we're feeding into the board over here. So now, two things that you need to do. Obviously, connect the 5 to your new song. And over here, you want to change this from 1 to 4 to 1 to 5, or as many songs as you have. So we change that to 1 to 5, and that's basically going to do the same thing we were doing before. You're going to join. It's going to check for a number between 1 and 5. That's going to be the song that you're playing. Check if it's the same. If it's not the same, go through, play the song that you want. And again, doesn't need to be connected anything afterwards, because this finished over here is just telling us and our system that the song just finished, and then just go back and give us a new song. So that's kind of how you do. You keep cloning those two, as many times as you want. And then just remember to change this number on your random integer to have as many songs as you have actually plugged in. If you guys have any questions, please do, drop them in the comments, or message me, or message Dave. And we'll try to get back to you. And remember to check out his shirts, because it's probably going to get featured again next week, hopefully. Thank you, Cranky, for being here
I'm
and
sorry,
checking out
such a
how
bad
to
learner.
build No. I tell you, it just sounds way more complicated than what it is. But I'm sure you guys that have been following the previous videos knew about the local and the synced and the integer switch. So if this just made sense to you, good job. All right. And if not, just type us and check out Random Architects in game. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Ciao.